Hey everybody, welcome to our last episode in this first series of podcasts. This one is talking all about calories, and it will link nicely to the other three when we spoke about the scales and how to really use them properly to monitor your fat loss. The difference between weight loss and fat loss was another good episode. And this one now, we're talking about, again, still in the context of people wanting to lose weight, and obviously now more importantly body fat, are calories all that matter? So when we're looking to lose weight, is calories the only thing that matters? And more importantly, that calorie deficit, you'll hear that a lot. That's the buzz phrase, a calorie deficit. Now, the thing is, you need to be in a calorie deficit to lose body fat. And if you're not in a deficit, it doesn't matter what you're doing, you will not lose. Over a period of time, you will not lose fat. It's the law of thermodynamics. It's energy in, energy out. If your energy in is balanced with the energy out, you're not going to lose anything. If your energy in is more than the energy out, you're obviously going to gain. But what you really want is your energy in to be less than your energy out, so you're losing weight and losing fat. Now, like I said, that is the key principle to fat loss. And if that's not there to start with, it doesn't matter what else you're doing. If you don't get out over that first hurdle, you're not going to lose. So it doesn't matter what diet you're on, whether you've gone for Weight Watchers, Slimming World, whether you've tried a bit of a vegan diet, vegetarian, whether you're on the paleo, whether you're on carnivore, whether you're trying, the big one at the minute is this, calorie partitioning of the old fasting diet. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you've not quite got that energy balance right, you are not going to lose. So, sort of one answer to the question, are calories all that matter? Well, a calorie deficit is the only thing that is going to get you getting you to lose body fat. So it's a key component of getting you to your weight loss, fat loss goal. But the caveat to this is, I personally would say, get looking into your calories, look at sort of how many calories you're consuming, look at what you burn on a regular basis. But then from there, you've then got to really dig deep into what we'll call sort of lifestyle factors. So to sustain that deficit and to keep you heading towards your goal, and when you reach your goal, how do you stay there? There's more to that than just calories. So you've got to look through sort of what we call lifestyle factors. So you've got to look at your social circle, look at your friendship. What does your socializing of a week look like? Is it surrounded by food and drink? Is it not very active? It might be a case you've got to look into this, and it's also your support network, isn't it? We found a lot that people that succeed in terms of their fat loss, they surround themselves with really supportive people. So your partner, you need to get them on board. Your friends, get your group of people that are going to be your biggest cheerleaders and biggest fans to get you to where you want to be. So that might be something that you need to look into to be able to sustain your fat loss. The other one I've got down here is economic sort of challenges. I do think perhaps overall it can be a little bit more expensive to eat healthier, should we say, with your speech marks, healthier. And I think it's more perhaps convenience as well. It's more convenient, it's quicker and easier to buy more processed stuff, stuff that's frozen, ready meals, all that kind of stuff. And it will take a bit more time and effort to eat better. Less processed, more veggies. I mean, fruit and veg is a little bit more expensive. But I think you can still do it without spending too much more money. But also all the sugary, snacky stuff always on offer. So that could be a challenge as well, but I think you can work around sort of, spending a little bit more money that way. The other one I got is sort of geographical. I think it's myself, I'm fortunate that we literally live 10 minutes from the school. So for me, it's quick and easy for me to take the kids to school. That little 10-minute school run there and back, I can do that. I think a lot of people, challenges for their calorie output is the fact that they aren't a walking distance to work. They're not a walking distance to school. They're in the car to work, car home. That does take up a lot of their day. And then they're sat on the desk. So in terms of output, that's a challenge that you need to start thinking. If we look at it like barriers, that's a bit of a barrier to, suppressing your calories out. So you need to look into that if you're sort of an office-based person, or even a lot of people now are working from home, aren't they, as well? So, which I thought initially, oh, that's fantastic. I remember chatting to people during lockdown, like that, I'm working from home, it's great, I'll get a bit more free time, I can do it. And I thought it'd be great to get your steps in before you start, lunchtime, you can eat a bit better because you're not on the move. Where actually, I think there's an element of people's bosses know where they are. The people that I know that are working from home just seem to have been beasted a lot more. They're just working so much harder. So that's another challenge. That's another barrier to movement. Because the two big things when it comes to weight loss and losing body fat is reducing your calories. So trying to sort that diet out and increasing your calories out, your output, that energy out. And that's got to be movement. You've got to be looking. For me, they're the two big things to create that deficit. And it's very difficult, especially, like I say, work-wise. It's a case of like setting your boundaries and saying, look, my lunchtime, I'm down for a half an hour break. I'm taking my half an hour break. And even if you head outside and get some walks, get a walk in on your lunch break, but also maybe get a walk in before you start work, walk in after work, and it just tots up those steps to try and get you towards your, 10, 15,000. The other one, genetics. I think there's more studies coming out now that some people are genetically, they're more predetermined to find it harder to lose weight. So I think more studies will come out soon that says that genetically some people find it easier to get in shape than others. But ultimately, the end of that sort of study did it still comes down to that law of thermodynamics. It's still energy in, energy out. It just might mean that certain people find it a bit harder to get into that deficit than others. So it's a challenge again that some might face, but if you're determined, you can still get to your fat loss goal. Interestingly, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, there was the biggest study done yet on metabolism, because even I thought sort of years ago, I think we were taught that as you start getting older, your metabolism starts to drop. So that was a key thing when you were chatting to people in sort of like their 40s, 50s. They were like, I've gained weight, and it's all down to my metabolism. And you'll still see quite a lot of stuff on socials, people giving that as like an excuse. But actually, they found out in this study that literally your metabolism is pretty stable from something like your 20s all the way up to 60. There's not a lot of change at all. So that's still firing, that's still nice and high. So you just need to look at your lifestyle, what are the barriers, and look more about how do I sustain this deficit to get to my goal and stay there. So like I say, I think calories are massively important because they're key. A deficit is needed. Without it, you won't lose fat. But then from there, I think you've got to look at the bigger picture and really work out what changes do I need to make to keep my calories at a level where I'm going to then lose and get into the shape and get the body fat level that I want. So just to recap, 1, calories are king, calories are key, and without a deficit, you're not going to lose body fat. You're not going to lose the weight you want. So you need to look at that. But 2, just looking at calories alone, I mean, it sounds simple, eat less, move more. But you've got to look around the other lifestyle factors that you need to change to remove the barriers that are stopping you perhaps moving so much and reducing those calories so much. You need to look at the bigger picture in order to make sure you're going to lose the weight you want to lose and keep it off. So I hope you've enjoyed another episode. Please subscribe if you've not already. And we look forward to seeing you again in Series 2. Take care, everybody.